this is the beginning of a brand new seminar year, and a lot of times people that aren't detail people or people that get, you know, I mean, we have so much going on in life that we kind of, it's easy to let all of July and sometimes all of August go by, and then all of a sudden we realize where we want to see ourselves mid-year and the end of the year, and we've already lost practically a third of the year. And so a lot of what I want to share with you is just kind of getting your head back in the game and giving you some tracking sheets and giving you just some basic reminders on getting on the books. And then I was introduced to this sales director. She hasn't been in Mary Kay very long. She's from Ohio, and her first couple years they didn't do a whole lot, and then all of a sudden she went from no unit club to 700,000. And she's real big on making these YouTube videos. And so once I go through this information, I've been watching her party instructional videos, and I'd like to take a minute and watch those, and I'm going to drop the links to those specific videos in an email and email them out to everybody, because her power statements that she uses for the way she presents the skincare, the way she gets bookings and those kinds of things is really good. Okay. It looks like there might be a glitch in the thing, but I'm just going to keep going. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the very first handout that I want to start with is this one that talks about 2015-2016 seminar course. And the exciting thing in Mary Kay, it's like we have 2 New Years. We have, you know, New Year's Day, and July 1st is really New Year's for us in Mary Kay. Again, the dangerous thing about that sometimes is going, well, I have a whole year, it's summer, I'll get ramped up in the fall. And again, it's easy to lose a third of the year. But if you engage your brain on this now, that really the key to meeting any goal is kind of looking at your time frame and then kicking butt at the beginning on the front end. You know, like we're on the front end of a brand new quarter. The quarter that we're in started June 16th. And so gaining new customers, checking in with the customers we have now, asking for referrals, doing faces, doing parties. Then when this quarter ends September 15th, it won't be, oh my gosh, can I finish STAR? It'll be, I'm done with STAR, and am I going to go up another level, or do I have team members that are going to bump me up a level? So the key is action now. And you know, Mary Kay, in one of her famous speeches, she talked about sometimes it's just that 10% more that makes the difference. So, you know, try not to be an all-or-nothing mentality. Like if I can't just do, you know, 100 faces a week, then I'm not going to do anything. That's the point of and the beauty of our Mary Kay business is that we can weave it into what we're already doing and build something that's going to build our future. And so Mary Kay gave the analogy of the average-sized man. You add 10% to that, and he's a giant. You take away 10%, and you know he's a much shorter man. So a lot of times, just that extra 10% of daily focus and thinking about what we want to see in a day, in a week, and in a month is a big difference, makes the difference, and a tracked number grows. So I say all that because this first sheet is a yearly tracking sheet. And so the little bit of danger in that is it's easy to go, well, I've got a whole year to do this, but the time for action is now. When you work for somebody else, you show up, you get that paycheck, but when you work for yourself, what I'm doing today is going to show up today, but it's also going to show up 3 months from now, 6 months from now. When we're standing June 30th, 2016, a lot of that picture is going to be what did we do in July 2015. So the Court of Sales is, this is based on these are the retail numbers that are right here. So get real familiar with that report in InTouch and My Business and Reports. Get really familiar with that, because your retail sales are simply your wholesale orders to the company doubled, plus they add in any of those extra gifts, those gift with purchases that you purchase for your customers. That also counts in the retail amount. So that's where you can kind of watch that number, so you can see quarter sales. You're averaging like $800 in retail sales a week. If you're averaging $600 to $800 in retail sales a week, it shows here on the tracking sheet the 3 diamond rings that you can earn, and those are they're gorgeous. And you'll get the brochure of how many carats of this, that, and the other, but they're gorgeous rings. That's where you go across the big seminar stage, get the ring. It's a big deal. And you can also stair step it. I mean, just because if somebody isn't hitting $600 to $800 in retail sales right now, consistently make sure you're hitting $200 to $300, and then after a few weeks of that, bump it up to $300 to $400, and bump it up like that. Okay, that's all I want to say about quarter sales. Yes.
Can you tell me when this starts and ends?
July 1st, this started, and it ends June 30th, 2016. So this is for 12 months. Okay, then underneath that you see the cord of sharing, and that's where you can either get the diamond bumblebee pin, the diamond bumblebee ring, or you can start a charm bracelet with the bees. However you want to do that. That's really prestigious in Mary Kay. And the key to this is it's 24 personal recruits in a year, but the important thing is they have to start on their very first order either the month that they did their agreement or the month after with 600 wholesale. The reason why they recognize that is because based on company statistics, a consultant that starts there is just better equipped for success, and so they're rewarding us for working with that consultant to either explain to them how to invest or show them how to sell their way there, and so that's why they incentivize that. So really that's 2 a month when you think about it. 24 for the year is 2 a month. I know in the Hulu national area that a lot of those girls work to have this court complete by Christmas. So that is a really prestigious thing. And I can't say enough where there's probably, well, let me say this. There's probably people right now, my suggestion would be to pick your 5 to 10 favorite in-town, out-of-town, and just do an interview blitz. Some of you will want to do that with me. Some of you are ready to do that on your own. But do an interview blitz where you're just getting the information out there. And I never, even with my own personal prospects, I never say, hey girl, I want to sign you up, I want to talk to you about Mary Kay. It's, you know what, I'm looking to expand my business, and I'm looking for talent for my team. I think you would be good, but please don't feel obligated. It's worth my time if you would take 20 minutes to chat over the phone or 45 minutes over coffee for me to give you all the information about how the business works, answer any questions, get your honest feedback. Either it's going to be for you, which would be awesome, or you'll be a great talent scout for me, and you'll be all the more understanding of what it is that I'm doing. And sometimes in team building, you talk with them, sometimes you get that immediate response, or sometimes you need to continue to layer them, and then all of a sudden 3 months down the road you get these great calls, I'm ready, let's go, so really engage your brain on this. I will tell you this, that our National Sales Director, Mary Beisel, if you want to make a little note, her sales court is 20,000 retail. So there would be recognition at Mary Beisel's night with 20,000 retail quota sales, and then her quota sharing is 12 qualified for the year. So there's also a half court, that you could also go for, and those are That's great recognition. That's not the national recognition. The national court of sales and national court of sharing, that's where you go across the big stage with the sash and you get the diamonds. But even Mary's court is, you know, you'll get Swarovski crystals, and it's a big deal. So everybody, like, this is important. Engage your brain on this. Attract number grows. So let's track that. Okay. Then I want to draw your attention to this next one, is the STAR consultant tracking for the new quarter, and that has the prizes on it and for this new quarter. Now, the STAR consultant program runs in, you know, for 3 months, for the 3 quarters. The thing that gets a tiny bit confusing is because they start at mid-month to mid-month. So like this quarter runs June 16th to September 15th, and the reason they do it that way is so that quarter end and month end don't happen at the same time and create too big of a quagmire. So that's the reasoning behind that. The STAR Consultant Program, Mary Kay always said that the 2 keys to success were to hitch your wagon to a star, so find people in the business that you can relate to and follow their example, and have a track to run on. And the STAR Consultant Program is our track to run on. Sapphire, the Sapphire level, that's the very first level. That's when you are tracking $300 in retail sales a week. When you are hitting $300 in retail sales a week, the breakdown of that, you will automatically need to place a 600 in wholesale orders every month. So for 3 months in a row, that's 1,800 wholesale and 1,800 in your pocket. Ruby is the next level. That's 2,400 wholesale in the quarter. That's when you're averaging 400 in retail sales every week. You'll automatically then, you know, when you break it down and break down the math, you would do the 800 wholesale a month on average, and that would be there'd be your wholesale right there at the end of the quarter. Diamond is when you're averaging 500 in retail sales a week. Emerald is where you're averaging 600 in retail sales a week, and Pearl is 800 in retail sales a week. And so you can see, of course, the prizes get better. And then once you hit your own Sapphire level, then your qualified team members within the quarter, your team members that begin their business with a 600 wholesale order, that will bump you up. So like, let's say you did your Sapphire and then you had 2 qualified team members, you would actually be a Diamond Star. You'd pick from the Diamond level prize-wise, and the stone that the company would send you would be a diamond, and you get the company sends you your pin, which have you received your pin yet? Okay. You'll be getting a pin from the company for your first star with the Sapphire, and you'll get a little number 1 in there, and then you can start changing those out with each new quarter. So I think I've been a star like 66 quarters. The last one I got, and I'm really pumped. Last quarter I was just shy of Emerald, and I got the MK Connection certificate. They're going to launch a brand new beauty coat at Seminar, so I'm going to get the new beauty coat. I really want that beauty coat, and the new one is really, really sharp. So this is where quarter sales is based on retail sales, which is your wholesale orders to the company doubled. The STAR Consultant Program is based on your wholesale orders. So these are wholesale numbers. I know sometimes new people get a little bit confused with that, but the important thing is to go into InTouch and My Business and start getting familiar with the reports in My Business and start watching your numbers. And with my new virtual assistant, I'm so excited. We consistently will have a newsletter posted towards the beginning of every month. It'll be around the 7th or 8th of the month, where that'll show your numbers as well and kind of have a scoreboard of everybody. So that's going to help you keep track also. Any questions on that? Yeah.
What are the numbers in the boxes?
Those are wholesale orders. So I think what they're doing here is you're climbing to you're kind of breaking it down. Here's where you want to land for Sapphire. So I think they're saying once you do 225 wholesale, cross it off. Then when you get to 450, cross that off. So it's just a way to cross it off. Then it just keeps continuing, on up. So you cross that. And again, there's just something, a tracked number truly grows. There's something kind of magical that clicks in our head. And here's the thing, Mary Kay wise, sometimes I think we as women are afraid to set a goal because of whatever past experiences we've had at jobs or school where, oh, I set the goal and I missed it. The cool thing about building your own business is you can't lose. Let's say you set that goal and you fall a little short. Who cares? All the effort that you put in is still going to perpetuate. That's all those new customers are going to follow you, those new team members you're growing your team. I mean, it's always a win-win. So, okay, so that's that one. Now, and this is something, and I know you'll do this, but to have, I already have these posted as a visual for me to start filling in. Okay, the next one is this Visal Area Perfect Contest. And this one is really important because this is officially replacing our Princess Queen Diva Consistency Club. Now, Mary Visal, our national, she wants to see the people that are doing the perfect 10. She's going to have prizes and recognition and special private phone calls for those who hit the perfect 10. And she said on our director call, like, she's not interested in someone that kicks butt and does it for a month and then takes 6 months off. You know what I mean? Because, again, this is your track to run on. This takes all the mystery out of it. If you want to earn a car, if you want to become a sales director, consistently shooting for that perfect 10, 30 faces in a month or 10 parties, 8 or more interviews, and 600 wholesale, and that's really not that much activity. 30 faces could be 5 parties of 6 people or 3 parties of 10 people. You know what I'm saying? It's not that much for the reward of the income jump that will come from that kind of activity. This also helps you, we always say focus on the activity and the results will come. So tracking this activity will, so you might have a party that wasn't your favorite and the sales are a little lower, but then you turn around and have a $600 party, then, 3 days later, it's all going to average out. Your perfect 6 is 15 faces in the month or 6 parties, 6 or more interviews, 400 wholesale, and then there'll be a prize from your director for that, and then the perfect 3, 10 faces or 3 parties, 3 interviews, 225 wholesale. So you have to do all 3. The faces, parties, interviews, and the wholesale order in a calendar month. And so this is your tracking sheet. This one is the tracking sheet for this. So you want to have 12 of these printed off eventually, and you want to track every month. I personally have my own tracking sheet printed off and hanging in my office right now because, again, a tracked number grows. So at the end of each calendar month, you want to turn in your stats to me, and if you did the perfect 10, you want to turn it into our national Mary Visal because she wants to know the people that are doing that. Any questions at all?
What's this?
This is, okay, this bottom one, you can do, ultimately she wants you doing following the calendar month. But this bottom one is if you kind of track 3 months. So let's say you have a month that wasn't your favorite, but then you kick butt the other 2 months, it can kind of be your best 2 out of 3. So that way all is not lost if you have a month that for whatever, you had a surgery or whatever, you know what I mean, you can still, so does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's your tracking sheet there. Now, and I don't have this visual. I'll take a picture and post it, but it is imperative this time of year to have, we always called it a goal poster before, but really a vision board. And I know you already have a beautiful vision board made, and really you can just add this to it. Sometimes you gotta keep the goal and change the deadline, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally, I took my whole goal poster vision board down from last year and just started totally fresh, and I love it. I'm in love with it. I just did something a little bit different than I've ever done before. But that, again, and the other thing I was going to say, some of these numbers that I spit out, you know, we've always been told, and I bought this hook, line, and sinker when I was a new consultant, like an Olympic athlete, when they're looking to hit a certain number, of course they train and they do what they have to do, but they also take that number and they write it and they have it everywhere, all over their house. And so my main goal right now with all of our, even our girls that are in T status, we're right at like 149 consultants in our unit. Not all of them are super active, so I just really see a vision of getting to 200. I think when we get to 200, that's going to push us into all the different things. That's where leaders are going to emerge. And, you know, I don't want to be the only one driving a free car. I want to see free cars out front. I want a bigger dream center where we can do more for our community. And I believe that 200, I just feel like that was really dropped into my heart. And so all over my house is little pink Post-its that say 200. I mean, it's everywhere. You know, I have a picture of Jesus. I put it, you know, under Jesus's face. I put it, you know, it's on my kitchen cabinets. It's on my bathroom mirror. It's in front of I mean, it's everywhere. And so it was so cute because my two younger kids, Savannah and Nathan, I mean, they've seen me have vision boards and all of that kind of stuff, but they were just like, 200? What are these 200s everywhere? And my oldest son was home, and he goes, don't you know? He goes, that's Mom's Mary Kay goal. I grew up with little Post-its all over the house of, you know, I'm going to earn a free car, red jacket, all of these things. And with that visual, that triggered that subconscious mind. I mean, not to take away from the Lord empowering us, but He gave us these creative minds and gave us these ways of knowing how to trigger those creative minds. And so, you know, with your whatever goals these are, we are like athletes. This is our arena of you know, of succeeding. Mm-hmm. This is the Mary Kay Olympics, and so you can put those little visuals, even though you have your main vision board. You know, what do you want to consistently hit? You know, do you want to land as a red jacket or team leader by the end of July? You know, what star level are you going for? Put $300 weeks, and always put it in present tense, like it is, not I want to or I hope I can. But I mean, all over my house is little pink 200s everywhere. Okay, any questions on any of that at all? Okay. So I wanted, and I feel redundant, but I mean, this business it's not hard, you know. What is the biggest challenge in owning your own business is we don't have anybody telling us what to do. And so if we can learn to treat, kind of lead ourselves like there's a boss or a manager telling us what to do, but then work with others with heart, that's the key to success right there. So it's really having a daily action plan and a weekly action plan and a monthly action plan. Any further out than that, it's just too easy to procrastinate. So just a couple little reminders. You probably already have this rolling, but to have a booking notebook, a specific notebook of all of your facial and party prospects. And you could split it into two, your sales prospects and your team member prospects. But that's so important to not just have that all over the place willy-nilly, oh, I don't know what, they're in my contacts somewhere. It's really important, I believe, to set a power hour every day. Now, I mean, there are some days where you're going to have to kind of sprinkle it in here and there, but I believe now more than ever, and this is something I've kind of, over the last 6 months, I would say I've really trained myself to take an hour and go towards whatever it is for one solid hour. Mm-hmm. So an hour of booking attempts, or an hour of customer service or an hour of team building reach outs. This isn't actually holding the appointments, but this is outgoing attempts to book new appointments. There's magic in that. So if you really schedule yourself for that, you know, even 3 or 4 times a week, that's going to help you so much. And okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about something else. So that notebook is really important. I believe having a whiteboard in your office and being able to track things on I mean, I've got 2 big whiteboards in my office, and I'm always tracking different things on it. That just helps me. You got to get stuff out of your head and on paper. The other thing is having either a separate notebook, or if you're an electronic person, I have fallen in love with using the reminders app on my phone and keeping my to-do list on my phone, but having a task list or a to-do list for the next day, and so you know what you're going to do. So let's say what's tomorrow, Tuesday. Let's say you know that you have to, I don't know, go to the post office, go to the grocery store, and then you're going to work your other job. So you know you're going to do those things. So part of your task list could be, when I go to the post office, I'm going to drop off a book and a sample. When I go to the grocery store, I'm going to look for either the cashier or someone to give a book and a sample to. And when I go to work, I need to follow up with so-and-so. So you're giving yourself a specific list based on what you know your activities of the next day are going to be. Because otherwise you'll get out at the post office and be like, oh my gosh, the cashier is adorable and I don't have anything with me to give her. See what I'm saying? You're being very proactive specifically for what you're going to do for the next day. So Mary Kay called that the 6 most important things list. And so you set aside a quiet time the day before and say, these are my specific actions in my business for tomorrow. And again, I'm in love with my reminders app, and you can, you know, say create reminder for 4 p.m. tomorrow, blah blah blah. That really helps too. But if you're a paper person, just have a separate notebook for that. Okay, the last little tidbit that I want to leave you with is, and I love this. Well, this is what we're going to look at, and I sent these links today, but this newer director that I'm real intrigued by her videos, Michelle Cunningham, I believe is her name. I was so happy to hear, you know, they were talking about her on the director call, and so I watched some of the videos, and I mean, it is classic old school Mary Kay, like in a good way, like the things that she's teaching and implementing and doing. It's what Mary Kay Ash originally came up with, and she's just got a fun spin on it. But one of the things she said is a lot of times we're like, oh, I got to get parties on my books, and then we're frustrated, and, you know, we can't get anybody to book a party. And she says, reel it back in and think about who are 5 people that you could book just for their face, and just ask them to get together one-on-one. And then almost as an afterthought, say, once they agree, say, you know what, if you shared that appointment with a couple, 2, 3 friends, I do have some freebies that you would get that way. Mm-hmm. And then that way, if she says, oh no, thank you, I don't want to do that, say, hey, no problem, I can't wait to treat you one-on-one. And then at that facial, you make sure you ask her for referral names. You make sure she falls in love with you and falls in love with the product. So then maybe there's a comfort level now. She sees your presentation, realizes that you're not going to try to push her into anything. So then now she wants all this product. She buys some there, and now she's more open to booking to get the stuff that she wants next. See how that works? But sometimes if we're just going for party, they say no, and then it's a dead end. But if you kind of almost go backwards to booking the face, but then make sure you take it the extra step, because I've done before where I booked a facial and I went to do the facial and they were like, you know, my sister-in-law, my mom lived next door. I was going to ask them, but I didn't know if you did groups. So I'm like, you know, I should have said something. But you know, so really think about who are, and then here's the thing too, you know, definitely we should quote warm chatter, which means when you're just out and about, try to exchange names and numbers with people. But just warm chattering, your numbers have to be much higher. They're more likely to cancel. They don't have anything emotionally invested in canceling on you. So yes, we should warm chatter if the opportunity arises, but it's way better to reach out to people that you have a warm connection with, that they have a vested interest in holding that appointment, that they're going to feel like a jerk basically if they cancel that appointment, even if it is just a facial.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we feel nervous, we feel intimidated, we don't want to feel pushy or whatever, so we kind of overlook those people. So my challenge to all of us would be and I can't say enough about practice makes perfect faces. So, if you feel like, I'm a little rusty, I've been off the bike for a minute or whatever, just say, what, I'm really looking to tweak my presentation and really nail it. Would you be one of my July practice makes perfect faces? And we're really going to play with some color and some skincare. Would you be one of my practice makes perfect faces? One other booking tool is to build a portfolio. If they're willing to do before and afters, great. Not everybody, I don't know if I'd want my before picture, in front of the world, but build a portfolio of professional women, and so that you can say, this is going to be, I'm going to show this to my clients. And so if you know somebody that's the manager of your store, you could say, I'll let people know whenever they see your picture the Mary Kay products that you have on, and also to go shop at your store. That's a great tool as well. You could do your mother-in-law and plug the church and different things like that. Okay. So I think we are going. Do you have any questions on that? Let me ask you this: what about this kind of excites you, or what do you think? Or is this a lot, or are you kind of clicking?
I'm excited that the sheet's already done for me. So like a million papers made just like this.
Oh my gosh! Okay, good. Tracking sheets. Yeah, good.
So this makes it really easy.
Good.
Visual.
Good.
Visual, so.
Where do you see yourself by the end of the month?
End of the month, hopefully having a couple of parties in and
good.
Maybe 4 new customers and hopefully
good.
2 new girls. So
good. Yeah. I mean, that's very, very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. Okay. Anything I should say before I wrap it up? Okay. I'm going to post. We're going to watch 3 specific links here of Michelle Cunningham, I think is her name. She has 3 specific links on her party procedure, and I love some of the power statements that she uses when presenting the product, and just some of the ways that she presents the product and how she really keeps it moving, keeps it fast. And so I think it's important to watch that. So, all right, love you guys. Keep on rocking.